This is becoming tiresome for me because I just know that sooner or later I'm going to get up, switch the news on, and I'm going to see an auction on fire. Thank goodness they're online auctions now, because I just can't bear to think what could happen. And the worst thing is that if I go into BCA, I've marked a couple of vehicles, non-runners. There's a couple of non-runners. There's also a couple of vehicles which I've seen very, very poor battery reports on. But just to put this into perspective again, if I go into electric cars, we'll see here, there's 754 electric cars and 41 LCVs. Nobody in the right mind would buy an electric vehicle without a battery report. Even these Avilo battery reports, I don't think they're ideal. I think the battery needs to be under load before you get a proper reading. 754 electric cars, 41 LCVs. We go down here to battery grade and there's report available. I click report available. What does that take that down to? How many vehicles are there now? 395 cars and 7 LCVs. So there's only half already that have got battery reports. These I've already starred to save me going through and boring you to death. This one, it's in the non-runner section. Ford Transit Custom, 1 litre FEV, 126, 340, short wheelbase limited. It's a 2021 on a 70 plate. It's had 2 owners, petrol electric. If I click on that, as we see, 2 owners, non-runner, Tuesday 3rd of June, online auction, Paddock Wood. 29th of 1st, 2021. We go down here, tells you no declarations. Equipment, tells you the equipment. Additional information. Cap average, estimated at 50k, 13,250. Fault, not turning over. Fault, security lock, key missing. Last known mileage, 35k off the January 2024 MOT, no doubt. Mileage incorrect, unable to obtain reading. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down. Non-runner, fire risk. Does anybody think like me that that should be like in red writing right at the top, and that vehicle should be in a completely different compound, sat right in the middle, surrounded by a moat? I'm sorry, but it's just disgusting. It really is disgusting. This, do you know why? Do you know why I think they should have a battery report on each one? Do we have corporate homicide here? In the UK, corporate homicide is officially called corporate manslaughter and corporate homicide. It's defined under the Corporate Manslaughter and Corporate Homicide Act 2007. Key points: applies to corporations, public bodies, police forces and partnerships. That's in Scotland. Offence: a company or organisation can be found guilty if a gross breach of a relevant duty of care by its senior management leads to a person's death. Penalty: unlimited fines, remedial orders and publicity orders. Terminology: in England, Wales and Northern Ireland, it's referred to as corporate manslaughter. In Scotland, it's known as corporate homicide. Why have I got a bee in my bonnet? Because I don't like the thought of somebody going to work one day and not coming home. When I was an apprentice draftsman, we had an electrician, and guy had been doing his job for years and years. He had one of these AVO meters, which were yay big, and he's always walking around with it over his shoulder. Now, the boss had been to Germany. He'd bought a vacuum cleaner for his wife in Germany. The only thing was, it had a European plug. Okay? So, the boss, who was a gentleman, absolute gentleman, sent the electrician to his house, big house on Lytham Front, to put a plug on this vacuum cleaner for his wife. I was only 15 at the time. As I remember, the wiring colours were the same, but different. The electrician, been an electrician all his life, wired the Hoover up, switched it on, got electrocuted. The earth and the live were the wrong way around. He got electrocuted. He went to work in the morning and he didn't come home at night because he wired a vacuum cleaner up. These people that work at auctions, the cleaners, the valeters, the people in the canteen, they don't deserve to be exposed to the possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen. They don't deserve to be exposed to the possibility. The drivers, the people that move these things around. Listen, trust me. I had a couple of friends who worked for BCA at Walton Summit, and moving those cars into the sale, you've just about got enough room to get out. Just about. If that's an electric car and it goes up, you want to be chucking the door open and bolting out, not and while you're burning to death. It's the worst possible scenario, not being able to get clear from the car and it being blocked in with a load of other cars. Offices above, the car park, then offices above, restaurants. There's all. It just doesn't bear thinking about. These vehicles, the ones that have actually got the battery reports, they should not be on there at all. But the worst thing is, those are the ones that have got the battery reports. What about the other 400 that haven't got battery reports? Let's just go back. Non-runner, fire risk. Back to tracked. Mazda MX-30. E107 kilowatt, 22,655, one owner. First registered 20th of 10th 2021, one owner. Non-runner, will not start. If it's got a 7-year battery guarantee, why is it not being fixed? What if, oh, it's a Cinch, it's another Cinch car. You know, the ones whose electric vehicle sales are up 39%. So this is another Cinch car. They're doing really well with them, aren't they? You know, profits, they're losing millions, but the electric sales are up because it suits them to say the sales are up 39%. Non-runner will not start. Then we come, I made a note of this one last week, it's still here. MG Motors. There was another one, a white one, that must have sold. So some victim or some potential victim has obviously got that. MG Motor UK ZS Electric, 105 kilowatt, exclusive, 30,167 miles, 2021 on a 21, again 4 years old. So just out of the ordinary warranty. But we don't know what's wrong with the battery, if it is the battery. Perhaps it's damage, who knows? Perhaps they can't afford to get it fixed. So they put it in an auction. That's what we used to do. Honestly, I've never put a good car in an auction. Hand on heart, I've never put a good car in an auction. Because I'm a car salesman. Why would I put in an auction for somebody else to make money on when I sell cars? Why would I do that? Exactly. No additional information, no declarations. We go into battery health. Battery health below 50, in fact it says 0. Avilu score, big red exclamation mark. Analysis of cell voltages and module temperatures failed. For details see page 2. High cell spread detected. This indicates a defective or heavily unbalanced cell. Well, somebody was kind enough, some evangelist was kind enough in the comments to point out that this is caused by fast charging. Really? So fast charging gives you an error report which is highlighted in red, and it says this indicates a defective, not a high charged or often high charged, fast charged cell. This indicates a defective or heavily unbalanced cell. Navuna vehicles, ends Wednesday 4th of June at 9 AM. Nissan Leaf, 40 kilowatt, 63,302 miles, 4 owners, battery health X. Last service 24th of 9th 2024. Date of registration 6th of 10th 2020. No declarations. Battery ownership owned. Battery health. View report. Avalue score. Warning. Analysis of cell voltage. High cell spread detected. This indicates a defective or heavily unbalanced cell. There's only half the vehicles in BCA that have got these battery tests. What about the ones on Auto Trader? You've seen that there's 4 out of 400. It's only 1%, isn't it? Russian roulette. What are the chances? If we go to Auto Trader, 33,570. Well, we've just got towards the end of the month again, haven't we? You know what it's going to be, don't you? They're going to have sold a load of used EVs. They hadn't done the other day. They only do it on the last day of the month for some reason. Now, I'm not sure why that would be. You know, I'm not sure, like, they're reporting them sold and then they come back on again a couple of weeks later. I'm not sure they're doing that. Only speculation. We'll see. 33,570 results. What we on there? 4? 1%? 1% of that? 335? So there's 335 potential time bombs out there. Those vehicles in BCA haven't been written off. We go down to previously written off. There's 378. Previous write-offs, Cat N's, Cat S's. What if they've got damage to the battery? They're just an explosion waiting to happen. It's disgraceful. Corporate manslaughter. Those battery health certificates, if anything happens at BCA and there is one of those certificates, because, let's just have a look at that. You see that? When was that certificate done? 9th of the 5th, 2025. This indicates a defective or heavily unbalanced cell. There'll be solicitors out there waiting. Absolutely waiting. To be honest, do you know what I'd be doing now if I was a solicitor? I'd be going through BCA. I'd be making a note of the registrations, the dates they're going through the sale, the mileages, and these Avalue test reports. And I'd just be sitting back and waiting for a huge class action. All these vehicles going through British car auctions. This is just British car auctions. I've showed you that on Auto Trader. Motors, Car Gurus, Piston Heads, all the other sites, all the other auctions. To be fair, BCA, they're doing this of their own volition. But I tell you what, if I was the chairman of BCA, I'd be getting myself a little go bag ready. A well-prepared go bag, also known as a bug out bag or emergency kit, should contain essentials that help you survive for at least 72 hours in case of evacuation or disaster, or an EV going up at an inconvenient time in an inconvenient place. New toothbrush, toothpaste and so on. And perhaps a bit of cash in my go bag. You know, a bit of gold just in case, you know, a couple of diamonds, that sort of thing. Because you never know when you might have to do a carless ghosting. I can see it happening. There's nothing more certain in my mind. It's gonna happen. Don't say I didn't warn you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.